Good morning. It's another mountain challenge day today. It's early, it's about 6 AM and I'm in the van somewhere in the West Highlands, and I'll go through a plan of action very shortly, but I need a coffee, so I'm going to get up and get the kettle on, so I'll bring you back in just a second, tell you all about today. Right, I'm up, got my coffee. Plan of action. So, a wee synopsis. We've got 5 weeks until Lewis leaves home, and we've got 5 weekends where Lewis has chosen 5 mountains. So this is a 5 mountain challenge, and I think in today's video we'll tell you what the punishment is for me if we don't do it later on. But yeah, we are in the West Highlands. This is a Munro that Lewis has chosen. I think Harry Stewart, that's a name, 2 parts of a name that might be give it away a little bit. So yeah, last week we successfully completed the first mountain challenge in Loch Nagar, which was amazing. And today we've got another mountain which I chose out of a hat of the 4 or the 5 mountains that Lewis chose. So today we need to drive along to the start of the walk. God, the midges are bad. Because you can't camp there overnight, so we've camped about a mile short of the spot, and then we'll get going. There's a few challenges today which we'll come on to, but for now I need to get inside and stop getting eaten by midges, and yeah, I'll report back later on. Oh, midges. As I said, we couldn't stay overnight in the car park where the walk starts from, so we drove the short distance along and soon reached the rather empty car park at this point, but that was about to change, as you'll see later on. And we got our boots on and we started hiking as soon as we could, because today it was going to be a long day. These mountains, in fact all of the mountains that Lewis chose, all seemed to be miles and miles away from the start point. We've started on our journey up Munro, the mountain challenge, Munro number 2 of the mountain challenge. They're not all Munros, by the way, as you'll find out. So day 2, and those of you who know the Scottish Highlands will know exactly where I am. This is the Glenfinnan viaduct. I've just read a plaque there. It was built, what year was it? Was it 1904? When was it built? Can you remember? 1894. Anyway, it was £18,904, so that's how much it cost to build. And I'll tell you why that's significant. Well, I think most people will know. Lewis will tell me why that's significant, and why I said Harry Stewart earlier on. But the Munro we're going up, which I picked out of the bag, out of the 5, is Sgwr Hwylm, and that's the one Lewis chose. And remember, he chose them just because he searched on the internet and liked the look of them. Nothing to do with Munro bagging or Corbett bagging or anything like that, so it's quite interesting. But we'll move on. We'll bring you back in a wee while. There is a Bothy up here which we might go into if there's nobody in it, either on the way up or the way down. But for now, let's head on, and I'll give you an update on why this might not be as easy as it looks. It's a lovely tarred road, this. In fact, the last time I came here was 2012. Well, that's a lie. I did a camp up on this hill to the right, which was one of the best experiences I've had, because the Northern Lights are the strongest I think I've ever seen them. I'll put a link to that video in the description. Anyway, I was going to say why this isn't going to be that easy, and the reason being is, in fact, let me spin you around, it might be easier to show you. Nothing too sinister, but you can see the skies are laden, they're heavy. I mean, we've been walking for about 30 to 40 minutes and luckily stayed dry so far, but the forecast is heavy rain. And although there's not much wind in the glen, there is forecast to be, I think it was 30 to 35 mile an hour winds once we get up there. So we'll just see how it goes. I don't think we're going to get much of a view, but that's Scotland, isn't it? It's a perfect, usual, standard Scottish summer weather. So we'll bring you back a bit later on. As I was about to mention, the last time I came up these Munros was in 2012, and on that occasion myself and my brother had a couple of bikes, and this walking along the tarmac road is perfect for cycling. So if you've got a bike, bring it along. Anyway, you head along and you soon come off the tarmac road, but you're onto a sort of 4x4 track. You go past the Bothy and cross a few streams before you reach the start of the mountain. It's a fair old trek to get this far in, and we were feeling a bit tired by now. Okay, so we have reached the start of the mountain, start of the climb, and I've stopped to get my poles out. We've done about 6.5 kilometres, or 6.55 according to my watch, and this is where the this is where the climb begins up to Sgurhulum. So let's get going. We've stayed dry so far. I'm actually looking forward to getting some wind now because there's a few midges about and I am roasting. I'm very warm. I don't think I'll be saying that when we get higher up, but yeah, let's see how we go. Let's see how this wind picks up, and if the rain comes or goes, I'll bring you back in a wee while. From this spot you can see the pool ahead of us heading up the slopes of Sgurhulum, and it wasn't going to be easy. It was going to be some pull to get up onto the ridge. The cloud seems to be lifting a wee bit. It might be in luck. Maybe not that much luck though. Yeah, and the cloud did seem to be lifting a little bit, but I was still quite concerned about the high winds and the heavy rain that was forecast, but so far so good. Oh, right, we're up on the ridge now. Getting a wee bit colder, but it's not nearly as windy as I thought it would be. And you know what, the rain hasn't started yet, so we're doing okay, but it is a deteriorating forecast. I was going to maybe just mention one of the things that makes this area famous is the viaduct, and more recently in the last, I don't know, 15 years, it's Harry Potter, isn't it? It's the famous scene in Harry Potter. Which movie do you think it is, Lou?
Chamber of Secrets, is it not?
Chamber of Secrets, and that's the second one, right? What was the first one? The Philosopher's Stone? Yeah. Lewis, when he was a wee lad, used to watch these over and over again, so yeah, the car park down there gets super busy, so that's why we got there early. It cost me £10. Fair enough. Right, don't think we're going to get a view, but you never know, the cloud is lifting. It is lifting slightly. Anyway, still to report back on the punishment I'm going to entail if we don't complete this challenge. And also I'll maybe give you a wee bit of history about this region, the other thing that makes it famous. But for now, let's get cracked on and see if we can get to the top of Sgurhulum. I know, here comes the sun. That'd be nice. Right, shall we go? Let's go. So up we headed, and at this point of time things were looking pretty good. There was even some bright spells here and there, and that cloud did seem to be getting higher and higher. We could see more and more of the mountains round about us. So yeah, we carried on along the ridge with a bit of a spring in our step, but it wasn't long before things started to change a little, as you'll soon see. I brought you back just quickly on the action cam because amazingly the summit has cleared. Look, there is the top in the middle of your picture, just there. We're going up and round and then going to make onto the summit. I was not expecting a clear summit, so the rest of the summits are still in cloud. It might just be a temporary clearing, so that's why I thought I'd just bring you back quickly and show you, because that might disappear. That is the summit of Sgurhulum. Let's go. Right, the summit is still clear. You can see beyond Lewis there, that's where we're heading, which is great news. You can see down just over there is Loch Arkaig, but I think we're going to be in the clouds. I don't know if you can see behind me. There's rain incoming. It looks like there's rain incoming anyway, so no doubt that'll hit us just as we're getting to the summit. Well, let's see. Right, I'll bring you back on the top of Sgurhulum. Let's go. So, yeah, sod's law. The rain came in, we could see it coming. It's kind of going off in a wee bit now. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Typical, as I said, typical Scottish summer conditions. But the summit is well and truly in the clag now, so you never know, it might clear through. It is just showers today. So let's see. if this clears for us. Bit disappointing. Up we go. After the promise of the summit clearing, yeah, as you can see, it did clag in pretty badly, and the winds picked up and the rain seemed to be getting heavier and heavier. But that didn't stop us, and we soon reached the summit of Sgurhulum. Well done. Mountain number 2 in Lewis's 5 mountain challenge. Go back to that one, right? Oh, this is horrible. Just coming down a wee bit off the summit. Look at that rain. It's typical. It's we've missed it the whole way around, haven't we? And then as we reach the summit, it's come in. But hopefully, it's going to pass by. It seems to be going off now, which will be nice. So we'll stop here and we'll get a bite to eat. I'll bring you back in a wee while. So I did say it would be a penalty for me if I don't get Lewis round his 5 mountain challenge. And the penalty is if we don't do it, I'm not allowed to have a Scotch egg for the rest of the year. We're only in July, so that'd be really hard for me. Head back to the van. In fact, might stop at the Bothy. Stop in there and get a bite to eat. If there's nobody around. Right, it's pretty miserable up here, so we're not going to hang around the summit. And yeah, it was about 10.7 kilometres from the van to get here, and the ascent says it's about over 1,000 metres of ascent because there's a wee dip just below the summit. So anyway, I think what we'll do is we'll bring you back on the when we get down off the hill. If there's nobody in the Bothy, we'll bring you back there and get some shelter. For now, we need to make sure we're going off the right way. This is what you've got to be careful of, going off the wrong way in these sorts of conditions. So it's pretty miserable. But then I was just going to say, you could see a ridge heading off to the right there. We did have to get the map, the GPS out to make sure we were dropping off the right way. You have to be careful sometimes. But anyway, what I was going to say is, you can make this, well, most people will probably do this as a horseshoe. Another Munro is Sgurhulum Corriochen, which means, I think, peak of the corries, and there's some magnificent big corries round about here for sure. That's Sgurhulum Corriochen. And Sgurhulum, I think, means peak of the rounded hill, or peak of the rounded hillock, or something like that. And anyway, some useless information for you there. We're going to head down. It's actually amazing how quickly it gets cold. Lewis has got his gloves and his hat on. I've got my hood up and my layers on. So let's go and see if we can get some refuge in the Bothy if there's nobody there. We'll bring you back in a wee while. So the rain stayed on and we descended down. I didn't film too much of it, but I tell you what, we were glad when we reached the Bothy. The rain had gone off at this point, but it was about to come back on, and our timing was perfect. Right, we're in the Bothy. It's quite dark, but Lewis has just seen that there's some lighting actually. Let's see. But there'll be light. A Bothy with electricity. Fantastic. You're going to have something to eat, Lou? Yeah? Yeah, so we've come out of the rain. We'll have something to eat here. Yeah, nice wee Bothy. I've been past it a few times, but I've never been in it, so very posh that it's got electricity. It's even got a kettle. Wow. Fantastic. It's coming at the right time, just hear the rain. Don't know if you can hear it or not. I can see it, it's peanut day. Anyway, I was just going to say about the route. We were never going to be doing the 2 Munros. We were only going to be doing Sgurhulum. But if you are doing the horseshoe, Sgurhulum and Sgurhulum Corriochen, just check out the way the wind's going, because today, had we gone up Sgurhulum first and then along, we would have been up high and going directly into that wind. It was pretty strong, the wind. So had we been doing both of them, I would have gone up the other one first and then round with the wind at our back. So just a wee tip for you there. But tell you what, I was quite lucky, wasn't it, Lou? Honestly, it's not been too bad coming down. It has been raining, but not throwing it down like it is now. It's absolutely teeming it down. It was good timing. Right, we'll bring you back at the van, because I want to just give you a wee bit more information about the remaining 3. So that's 2 of the 5 that Lewis chose, and there's still 3 to go, but we'll bring you back at the van. We're going to sit in here and just watch this rain, I think. It's horrendous. Right, back on the waterproofs, I'm going to head here, but just have a look at this. Kettles. There's even plugs to charge stuff. It's fairly impressive, isn't it? Right, shall we head back out into the rain, Lou? Let's go. Let me go first if you want to turn the lights out and lock the door. That's it. So let's go. Oh, peanut doing. Right, we'll bring you back at the van. We're looking forward to having some Lorne sausage rolls. Right, as the rain continues, I just realised I forgot to talk about the other part of Harry Stewart or Charles Potter. I just try to be smart. Obviously Harry Potter we talked about, but the other reason why this area is well known was that Charles Edward Stewart, I think he had about 20 middle names, but anyway, Charles Edward Stewart raised the standard here of his father James for the second Jacobite uprising. I think Jacobite means people of James or something, or Jacobus, or anyway, something in Latin, but anyway, by the by. So Bonnie Prince Charlie raised the standard here and all the clans came and that started the second uprising, which ended at what most people will have heard of as Culloden, with his defeat against the British army, which I think was actually probably made up more of Scottish lowlanders or maybe even other clans, I don't know. Maybe I should go and watch more of Bruce Fumi's videos. His videos are brilliant, by the way, go and give him a watch. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, this is where he raised the standard down at the top of the loch. I want to say the clan Cameron or Lochiel was the one that gave him the backing, and then the rest followed, because when he first arrived from France, I think on his second attempt, it was out at Eriskay maybe, or one of the Outer Hebridean islands, and he'd promised to bring loads of ammunition and sort of, I don't know, money and basically backup to allow them to fight. But only one boat arrived, and apparently there was seven people, 7 men and like that. Anyway, that's why it's famous. So I'm going to shut up now, there's people coming. I'll bring you back later. Still pretty miserable, but we can finally see where we can make out the viaduct. We're nearly there. Looking forward to a cup of tea, I tell you. This is perfect for bikes, this road, but unfortunately we don't have 2 bikes, so I've had to walk it. Excuse the mess of the van, we're steaming up a wee bit. Still peeing it down with rain out there. But that was good fun. What did you think, Lou? Did you enjoy that? Yeah, peak number 2. So there's 3 more, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. This one was good. Wee Bothy was perfectly timed. As I said, most baggers will go up round the 2 Munros and do a horseshoe, but we never planned to do that. And it was a lovely walk as it was. So yeah, Bothy was perfectly timed. It's rained literally all the way back. And we're now at a very, very busy Glenfinnan car park. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's unbelievable. Anyway, we've got 3 mountains left to do. The first 2 have been Munros, and I can tell you there's 1 Munro, 1 Corbett and 1 Graham left, and I can also tell you 2 of those that Lou's picked are amazing mountains. The third I've still to be convinced about, and one of them I'm so glad he's picked, an amazing hill, and hopefully that will become apparent when we do it. So tune in next week to find out what the third one is. We don't even know what it is yet, we need to pull it out the hat and probably do that tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, we'll see you next week for mountain number 3. Right, see you next time.